Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Motor City Uncut, episode 161, presented by the Major Sports Network Detroit. I'm your host, Dorf, joined each and every week by Major Sports Network founder Adam Hernandez, and part-timer is part-time again. Sean is stuck in traffic on I-94 because of the rain and fog.
It's pretty foggy out there.
Coming back from Chicago from work today. So, Adam and I will plug along without him, or as long as my voice will hold up. I spent the whole weekend at a umpire clinic yelling, and so my voice is gone. This, believe it or not, is like 3 times as good as it was yesterday. Sorry for, I'm sure, clearing my throat a bunch of times, all in your ears. Headphone users, beware. All right, so today we're essentially doing the Detroit Tigers Spring Training Primer, but wasn't originally on the plan until the intro music started rolling. We're going to have a little brief discussion here about the rumor that the Red Wings and Flyers are currently engaged in trade talks surrounding Petr Mrazek. I think it's dumb. Adam apparently doesn't. My thoughts are Red Wings suck. He at least has a chance of still being, an in-prime player by the time you are ready to win again. Jimmy Howard does not. If I'm moving to try and dangle anybody, it's going to be Howard. However, I do understand you are more financially flexible moving Mrazek compared to Howard. It's more financially appealing to another team. But you do not have an answer ready in the mind. It's not like you have a... what's his name there in Tampa Bay, who they dumped Ben Bishop for? Vasily. It's very Russian. I remember that. Who, went from the 22-year-old backup who, they traded Ben Bishop away to make room for, to arguably the best goalie in the NHL this season. So right away, you don't have that waiting in the wings. That's why I'd argue that it's more conducive for a better rebuild to try and keep Petr Mrazek around instead of Jimmy Howard. However, I understand there's a pretty good possibility by the time you're ready to be competitive again, neither of them will still be around, and it really doesn't matter. So, Adam, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, you kind of mentioned it there, is that it is more financially flexible to get rid of Petr Mrazek now, as opposed to Jimmy Howard. Because when you look at it right now, you've got Jimmy Howard next season at almost $5.3 million.
Same value he's made forever.
Yes. At this point right now, you're going to have to re-sign Petr Mrazek. He's a restricted free agent, so he's
arbitration eligible restricted free agent.
He's not going to be making a whole bunch of money, but he is going to be getting a raise off of that $4 million that he's currently making right now. Keeping in mind too, right now you have
nothing coming off the books for next year.
Well, no, and you have Athanasio, you have Dylan Larkin, you have Anthony Mantha, all needing to be re-signed.
And Tyler Bertuzzi is playing quite well.
Bertuzzi as well. Those are a lot of different contracts that you have to look to find money for and sign. So
your only savings is $6 million for Mike Green, which combined between all the guys that you just spoke out that need raises, that's going to eat up that $6 million bucks. You're in a financial predicament. However, I would argue Jimmy Howard on a last year of a 1-year deal is incredibly tradable in the offseason, if he's not pretty tradable right now.
I think they're both pretty tradable right now. I don't think you have one or the other that is less dealable, I guess. I think when you look at it, yes, it's going to depend on whatever situation that a given team is in. If they're more financially flexible, or if they have more to offer, then they're probably going to go after a guy like Petr Mrazek. If you're looking for a guy that you just need this season, maybe next year, well, you will have him next year. You're not going to go ahead and trade for Jimmy Howard then dump him in the offseason. That's not going to happen.
You're going to have one of the two will be your goalie going into the next season.
Exactly. And there is that more long-term commitment to Petr Mrazek if you go and you trade for him by this deadline. If you're the Red Wings, is there anything coming up right now through the system?
Your best prospect is a guy you just have the rights to. He's still in college.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Quinnipiac.
Yeah, he's at Quinnipiac.
Yep.
I remember his name is a mouthful, but that's about all I've got. I'm sorry, but what's his nuts that's down there now, starting in Grand Rapids for him, Jared Koru. Mm-hmm. Not a legitimate prospect.
But he is a guy that you can rely on as a backup.
He may be a backup option at the National Hockey League.
I don't think he's a meh backup option. I think he's one of those
That's
guys.
my assessment of him.
Well, look, right now the Red Wings have two guys that could very well start on a National Hockey League team.
Yeah, they do.
And that's a luxury they cannot afford to have right now.
Because they're both not on rookie contracts anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, right now they have
$9.3 million in goalies.
And they have almost on the better end of $10 million wrapped up in their goaltending. In a salary cap league, that's not good.
What's the total cap right now is 78.7, and you're spending 1/7 of that on goalies. You can't do that. I mean, this isn't the NFL where you can spend 25% of your budget on a quarterback and still put a good team on the ice or field.
Yeah.
You can't do that here.
No,
you're not wrong, Adam. You're really not wrong. No, and here. I just think you're encouraged. Not that our encouragement or discouragement will do anything in this situation because we're us and they're an NHL franchise. But I think you're really kind of cheering for the wrong guy to be moved.
Look, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from a long-term standpoint here with the Red Wings. I mean, is Petr Mrazek at this point somebody you really want to dedicate long-term money to? If he is, then fine. What Petr Mrazek has shown me, though, throughout his time so far in Detroit is he's a very, very streaky goaltender. Mm-hmm. He can be brilliant one night, and he can be absolute dog shit the next. Is that a guy that you want to spend? Because when it comes down to it, is that a guy that you want to dedicate?
You're gonna have to spend just as much. What Jimmy Howard.
You're gonna be spending at least $6 million a season on Petr Mrazek.
That's what I was about to say. It was $6 million a year. For a goaltender of his caliber, despite the streakiness, that is the cost of doing business in this current era.
And that's
his contract's going to be 5 years and $30 million.
Yeah, and my argument always for Jimmy Howard is he's an incredibly big bargain for the Red Wings for what they were able to get him for.
Sure.
You go and you look at the other contracts around the league for starting goaltenders. It is bad. Nuts. It is nuts. I mean, look, you go and you look and see what the Pittsburgh Penguins were spending all those seasons for Marc-Andre Fleury.
And Marc-Andre Fleury is Marc-Andre Fleury, although look at him this year. Look out.
Oh, I mean, well, all bets are off right now.
Rebuilds take 10 years. Vegas didn't exist 12 months ago, and look at where they're at. Ken Holland.
But no, I mean, I'm looking at this from more of a long-term standpoint here. Am I going to be looking to re-sign Jimmy Howard after next season? Probably not.
Well, here's the deal. I just looking at the salary cap situation, they are financially fucked for this year and the next 3 years after that. They have absolutely no money, and you would argue the guys that need to get paid now, they'll still be in the system at that point, but you don't have enough talent chasing them up from Grand Rapids that your team is going to be in a good spot in 3 years. You're going to have... It's like the same argument I made about it really doesn't matter who manages the Tigers right now because they're not going to be good for another 3 years. I'm going to even say this. Does it really matter who's going to be goalie for the Red Wings the next 3 years? They're going to suck regardless.
Well, something they're probably going to do is they're going to go... If they don't re-sign Jimmy Howard after next season, what they're probably going to do is they're going to go and get a guy, a mid-tier type of guy.
The current generation's Yaroslav Halak.
Yeah, they're gonna go sign one of those type of guys who's going to be that bridge. to the next generation, the next starter for the Red Wings. I just can't justify keeping Petr Mrazek around
at the projected cost.
At that projected cost, given what else you're going to have to re-sign, because right now the way I'm looking at it, you need to find money to sign Athanasio, Larkin, and Anthony Mantha. You have to re-sign those guys. Anthony Mantha is getting ready to be your first 30-goal scorer, I think, since like 2009 or 2013. I think that's
didn't Franzen score that many that year? Or was it Hossa? No, that Hossa was there in like 09.
No, 09 was Hossa's last season.
Okay, that's his only season, yeah.
Well, no, he was here for 2 seasons.
Was he?
Yeah, he was here. Wait a second.
No,
he wasn't. He's only here for one season. Yeah, you're right. He did only sign that 1-year deal.
I remember exactly where I was when that deal was announced.
I think it was at work.
So was I.
Yeah. I was like, holy
I was
shit.
in high school. I was mowing lawns with the radio, over the ear hear protection headphones. I was listening to 97.1, and I forget who was on at the time.
Probably some dog shit like
I'm pretty sure it was Mike Valenti, actually.
No, was it Mike?
Valenti and Foster. Holy shit, we just, not literally because you can't say that because it was FCC regulated. We just signed Marian Hossa. Holy crap.
Should have won the cup that year, too.
Oh, my God.
Should have won the cup that year.
Anyway, back to the point. You're right. They got to free up money. You only have $6 million of old commitment coming off the books this year of guys that you don't want to keep, that you're going to want to keep. I mean, the combined $1.4 million between David Booth and Martin Ferk. Who freaking cares?
Who freaking cares?
That was not on purpose.
That's so lame.
I know it is. Shut up.
Something else to keep in mind too, Dorf. Yeah. There's going to be an expansion draft after next season.
Oh yeah, that's right. After next season?
Well, they're looking for Seattle to start in 2020, 2021.
Oh, so that's two. You got to go through 2 more years.
Well, let's see. We have 19, 19,
1920.
1920.
So they do it at the conclusion of the 1920 season.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so that really doesn't help you. But anyway, sorry.
But you heard the rumors about Ken Holland, though. Potentially
go do the GM thing there. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way
Somebody
out.
brought up a very good point. Is he going to be a guy that will take one of the Red Wings' bad contracts that he gave out?
As out of some sense of misplaced altruism.
Will he put his money? Will he put his money where his mouth is and go ahead and take like a Justin Applicator?
At that point, I'm rooting for him to take Franz Nielsen.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Franz Nielsen 5.25 for 2 more. Oh man, Justin Applicator though, 2021.
He's the longest term contract you have left.
You're still owed more. No, you're still owed more money to Justin Applicator.
Well, I think I have more value out of Justin Applicator at that point in his career over Franz Nielsen. That's why I'm rooting for Franz Nielsen. Oh, or let me guess, at that point he's going to have handed out a Darren Helm contract extension before he leaves, and he could take him with him.
I don't know if I wouldn't mind if you take Danny DeKeyser too.
Danny Kaiser would only have 1 year left at that point.
No, he's got really 2021. No, he's signed through 2022.
Oh, you have 2 years, yeah.
But yeah, he could take either one of those. I'm fine with that. Applicator, Nielsen, or Danny DeKeyser.
Or maybe the eventually retired Henrik Zetterberg's contract.
No, he'll finish it out. 2020,
Are you sure of that?
2020, 2021 will be Henrik Zetterberg's last season with Detroit, or last season in the NHL.
Yeah, it'll be 41 at that point?
Yeah. I can't imagine him going and playing any longer.
I'm sorry. I watched the entire game last night. I usually just watch a little bit. Mm-hmm. He looks so fucking slow.
Well, he's 37 years old.
I understand that.
What do you expect him? Would you expect him to be quick?
It's slow and it doesn't look like there's a lot of effort in skating. But I mean, what do I know?
Tough loss last night too.
Yeah, knew it was going to happen. They had the momentum for 25 straight minutes of game time, and all of a sudden there's one icing call. They ice the puck after a long shift, and oh shit, buried in the back of the net. Like 10 seconds later, game over.
You know what? I want to address something too, because when that Holland article went up yesterday, I know there's a lot of people out there.
God, it was only yesterday.
Yeah, was it yesterday? Or was it Saturday?
I think it was Friday. I thought I saw it Friday.
Well, we posted it on Saturday or Sunday. I think it was yesterday.
Okay.
Anyways, though, a lot of people out there are saying that there's no way Steve Yzerman would come back. I don't look. Is it tough right now to think that Yzerman would leave a team like the Lightning, who he's built from the ground up, to go back to Detroit in a team that is
Mike Babcock did it.
I think that there's a lot of different factors that you need to look at here. I think there is. To totally discredit Steve Yzerman coming back to Detroit, I think is being...
It's never not an option.
No.
It'll never be impossible.
But you know what, though? If there's any team that Yzerman is going to leave the Lightning for...
It's Detroit.
It's going to be Detroit. I mean, it just is. And the only way for the Red Wings to go out there and actually make it happen is make an offer.
All I can do is ask.
That's right. I mean, does the Lightning ownership have any reason to give up on Yzerman right now? Absolutely
Hell
not.
no.
No, he signed through next season, and then his contract is going to be up. I mean,
come on, he's an executive. He could have gotten an extension 3 months ago when you still don't know about it.
Exactly. Quite frankly, I'm a little surprised that he hasn't gotten an extension yet. I am. I mean, do I think...
Or it's one of those, are they so comfortable that they can go on a year-to-year basis and it's fine?
Maybe that's the case.
Like, prime example, Jim Leland is a manager his last several years in town. It was just rolling 1 year.
I think with Jim Leland, though, I think in that case, I know it's baseball and hockey, but I think in Jim Leland's case, though, he's an older guy. You know, he's not sure how much more he wants to be committed to managing a baseball team.
But it's not like, well, if here's why I think that's different. I don't think your angle here is right. It's not a guaranteed contract if he decides, I'm done. Then the Tigers in that case wouldn't owe him another penny if he walked away with years on his deal. It's not like hockey players where, oh, by the way, you don't have to actually pay him, but that cap hit is still a penalty for you if guys walk away.
I know, but I think general managers, though, still want to have that level of financial security. Yeah.
You know, even if I suck at my job, you still owe me money for the next 6 years or whatever it is,
Exactly.
Prime, example.
I don't totally discredit Yzerman coming back to Detroit.
It's foolish.
It is foolish. Maybe Yzerman is holding out. Maybe he's looking
trying to keep his options open.
Maybe he's looking to see what happens in Detroit. Do I think he'd want to come back to Detroit?
Well, and here's another angle. He's not an old man per se.
No,
not for an executive.
Not for an executive.
Not for an executive. He's done so well. He will have a job somewhere the instant he asks for a different one. In another organization, as soon as he becomes a free agent, there's a bidding war. He doesn't need that long-term, extension for that financial security. Probably already has it, period, because cash earned over lifetime. Plus, the whole, it's not like he wouldn't get a job right away.
No.
So I maybe doesn't hurt to have that long-term security, but it's not like he won't be employed gainfully in the world of professional hockey somewhere if he decides to walk away from the Lightning. All right. Now that kind of diverged from Petr Mrazek to the Flyers, we're going to do we're spending the rest of the evening doing the Detroit Tigers spring training primer, mostly focusing on position battles for the 2018 opener. I just went through the roster of guys that are invited to camp and went and picked out, I only have 11 guys as absolute locks, with 6 more being pretty damn close. Leaving, what does that make? 8, whatever, many other, just 6, 7 other jobs available, for the upcoming season. So, I'm just going to go through my locks here real quick. If you have anybody that you don't think belongs on that list, holler at me. That doesn't necessarily mean they won't be traded during the preseason for whatever reason. Just if all things stay the same, these guys will make the trip north with the big club at the end of March. So, Michael Fullmer, Jordan Zimmerman, Mike Fiers, Shane Green are the only 4 pitchers I have as absolute locks. Zimmerman and Fires just because Zimmerman's owed too much damn money and they just signed Fires for a couple $1 million. I doubt he would have to be horrendously awful, like to the tune of a 20 ERA in the spring to not make the trip north. Shane Green was just anointed closer, and he's going to have to do a lot to get unseated from that at this point. And Michael Fullmer's Michael Fullmer. James McCann will be on the roster as a catcher. 95% sure it'll be as your starter on opening day. So he's pretty much going north, going for that reason alone. Miguel Cabrera, your starting infield is set essentially. That's Cabrera, Dixon, Machado, Heimer, Candelario, Jose Iglesias. And out of the guys patrolling the outfield, I have Nick Castellanos as the only sure thing. My near locks are Matt Boyd, and I have him currently penciled in as your fourth starter. However, he will be on the roster at some point or some way or fashion because he is out of minor league options. They will keep him, in April minimally, just because they, have to waive him and potentially lose him if they don't. Daniel Norris, same thing. I currently have penciled in as my number 5. Does have a minor league option still available, but there's not really anybody, in my opinion, that will challenge him for that 5th spot in the rotation legitimately. Next is Alex Wilson. He's a relief pitcher on a 1-year deal. That's why I didn't put him in the absolute lock. Anything can happen. Same thing for Daniel Stumpf. Was your best lefty all year last year. Still will probably be that primarily late inning. Got to get a lefty out guy, and that's fine. I have Victor Martinez on the near lock list because they do owe him so much money, but there's starting to be a little bit of smoke in, let's call it, the real media, with beat writers and shit, that they might be thinking about leaving him behind.
God, please,
for the love of Christ. And the other one is a near like I have Mikey Matuk. He will likely be your mostly everyday left fielder, assuming he can stay healthy and continue to hit right-handed pitching at his pace he did at the end of last season. So he'll be every left fielder. I believe I said right fielder, but left fielder at least to open the year. Your roster battles. So, all right, from that list of 17 guys there, leaving the 8 spots open. Do you agree with my list there? Is there anybody you want to add, subtract, anything like that?
I for the most part, I think I do agree with it, Dorf. Looking at it here, I'm with you. I think that I certainly think that, okay, so you're going to look at Fullmer, Zimmerman, Fires as your 1, 2, 3, and then Boyd and Norris as your 4 and 5.
In some order.
Okay.
Those
are your 5 pitchers. 5 starters.
Michael Fulmer's my number 1. The other 4, pick a name out of the hat. It really doesn't matter. They all kind of are.
I guess it really doesn't make a difference. I could put Matt Boyd and Daniel Norris up as locks, and I'm sure you would agree with me too.
Yeah.
Were you just trying to populate the near locks list?
No, my near locks is because Matt Boyd was very hot or cold last year. He looked great, or if he fell behind, he got pummeled. I
think Matt Boyd is more of a lock than Daniel Norris is.
Exactly, because of the minor league options.
Just because of the minor league options. I think that's a good point you make, that Daniel Norris, if Daniel Norris didn't have any minor league options, he would be a lock.
Yes, exactly. But, I have Matt Boyd not on the lock list because, at the end of the day, he is still a soft tossing lefty. Mm-hmm. And those guys kind of do grow on, a 4A starter, swingman type. There's not a lot of value in him long term, but he's not a major league pitcher, if that makes sense.
No, I would say this looks good. I would say it looks good. That looks good to me. So,
please, for the love of God, cut Victor Martinez. Realize the Nick Castellanos in right field is a mistake and move him to first base. And then Miguel Cabrera can be your full-time designated hitter. Why am I doing it like a Gregorian chant? I don't know.
I love that. Jesus, please. Jesus. Please.
You're going to be like Will Ferrell and Pray to Sweet Baby Jesus. All right. So with that list being what it is, I'm going to say so you still have backup catchers open.
Oh my God, no way!
What was that for?
I'm gonna do this one.
God help us!
Oh, all right.
God help us, Jesus! God and baby Jesus help us!
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly year. We'll get to that before we're done. But with that in mind, first position battle, job up for grabs. I have the backup catcher spot listed. You have 3 guys that kind of have shots. You do have a clubhouse favorite, clubhouse leader for that, with a 1 outside shot of being kept, but it's unlikely. John Hicks and Grayson Greiner are currently on the 40-man roster. I don't think Greiner has a shot. I bet you, I would bet he starts the year at AA and will probably be there for about 10 minutes before he comes to AAA, but probably spends a month in AA and then comes up for the rest of the year at AAA or if needed in the major leagues. I think this is John Hicks' job. Both Derek Norris and Brian Payne are in camp on minor league deals. Derek Norris, very interestingly, is a former All-Star and a sleazebag. Mm-hmm. Not known for his glove work, but hits the ball a mile if he gets a hold of it. And then there's Brian Pena, who's old and not great. Never was good on defense, but he's a switch hitter.
How many people are going to fall in love with Derek Norris when he goes and he hits a couple of late inning bombs when he's up
in spring training?
No,
I don't think he's not breaking camp with the team. I don't.
At some point, I'm guessing though, at some point he's going to come up with the team. I'm thinking.
Sure.
And he's going to hit a late game or late inning home run.
Oh, he's just going to be like a Jared
Saltalamacchia.
Oh, I wasn't thinking Jared Salta. Jared Saltalamacchia was incredibly clutch the first half of that 1 year he was here. I'm thinking more like remember Alex Gonzalez? What was it, 3 years ago? Opened at shortstop after at 37 years old after not playing the position for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Hit that walk-off double on opening day. And I believe my comment was at the time, well, you used up the one good hit he's going to have all year. And then he was off the team by the end of April. He was that bad. I think that's what kind of impact Derek Norris has the potential.
Yeah, he didn't make it. Yeah, he didn't
make it out of April.
No, that's not an exaggeration. I think you're right. I don't think he made it out of April.
Because then you saw the major league debut of Eugenio Suarez.
Oh, yeah, that's right. God, I love that.
You'd be your third baseman right now. I don't think you have Candelario, though. But
yeah, that's true.
At the same time,
Candelario is going to be better, too. I think it will be.
I think they'll be very similar players. Suarez has a little bit more defensive ability, though. And could play shortstop, probably. I don't think he would still be at shortstop now. I think the Reds have him in the right spot at third base.
Is he better than Dixon Machado at second base?
Suarez is definitely a more gifted offensive player. There's no argument about that. Dixon Machado has the ability to be a better defensive player. However, I think Suarez is currently a better defensive player. He may not get to as much, but he's not going to make as many mistakes on the ones he does get to.
Yep.
God damn.
Hey, man.
A 30 home run third baseman you traded for Alfredo Simon.
Hey.
You fucking idiot.
Big pasta, man.
So bad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He was statistically the worst starting pitcher in baseball that year that qualified for the ERA title.
Just gotta look at his FIP.
That's not even like spray charts and exit velocities and shit. That's just a very simple 4-variable formula.
No, yeah, you look at his FIP. Oh wow. He's got like a 6.
He doesn't strike anybody out. He walks quite a few people and gives up a lot of dingers.
No, this is exactly what Dave Dombrowski needed to do. Be like, oh yeah, Alfredo Simon. Okay, just a second. Let me just go log on to Baseball Reference here.
I don't even have a Fangraphs premium subscription for this one.
No, let's go log in. Oh, he's got like a 6 FIP going from the National League to the American. No, thank you. That's what you needed to do. Just look at the guys.
You don't even need to do that. You just got to use the eye test too. Remember, this is the same guy that thought Jose Valverde could get away closing games in the major leagues with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball, and that's it.
To Dave Dombrowski?
Yeah.
And people loved him, too.
I don't know why. All right, so I think John Hicks wins this job. He is also out of options. I think John Hicks, not a great defensive player, has a little bit of utility with the ability to limp you along at first base, not stellar defensively, but hit quite well last year. Was not known for his bat prior to coming to Detroit, but he's a backup catcher, so who cares?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
A backup catcher and a bad team, who cares? Next jobs, we're going to argue and debate or whatever. There's three open bullpen jobs. Roles really don't matter this year outside of Shane Green because they all suck and who cares, and just they're going to pitch in relief and hopefully not blow it or make it any worse. So the guys I have is listed as real shots in no particular order. I have Blaine Hardy, Buck Farmer, Chad Bell, free agent signee to Major League deal Ryan Carpenter, Joe Jimenez, Jairo Laborde, Drew Verhagen, who is out of options, Travis Wood, who's in on a minor league free agent deal, and Warwick Saupold. Out of those three, you're going to need to keep at least one additional lefty, possibly two. The role that you really have taken care of already is your situational lefty and your seventh inning guy. So, the guy that you'd prefer to use in the seventh inning, that being Alex Wilson. So you need another lefty, a middle relief guy, and a long man out of this crew. In your mind, out of those guys, I don't know if you looked at the outside shot list at all. Out of that crew there, who do you see being the three guys that break camp with the team?
The break camp with the... See, I'm looking at Verhagen is out of options, right?
Out of that list, he is the only one.
Okay.
Travis Wood is on a minor league deal. If you bring him up, you have to waive him to send him down. But if he starts the season in the minor leagues, you could leave him there because he's not currently on the 40-man.
Did you hear what happened with his finger?
He almost sliced it off with a crossbow.
Yeah, hear what he asked the doctor.
What?
He's like, would I come back quicker if we just
took it,
cut it off?
Which finger was it?
It was his not throwing hand.
Oh,
so I think it was his. I don't know exactly which one it was, but let's see the three here. So they already have their.
You're gonna need at least one lefty, max two.
Who's their lefty already up there? It's
Stumpf, yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna need one then.
Hmm.
I think they're gonna go with Hardy.
Okay.
I think they're gonna. Shit. I mean, none of these guys are really.
I mean, there's no wrong answer here. You're not going to get shamed for picking any of these.
No, there isn't.
The only thing I'll do the finger wag at is if you pick three lefties for this, which is you're not going to carry four lefties in a big league bullpen.
Actually, you know what?
Because none of them are like Andrew Miller or Aroldis Chapman quality.
I'm gonna say Verhagen, Travis Wood, and Travis Wood was one guy, and Buck Farmer.
You fucking copycat! I know we didn't talk about this.
No, we didn't.
But that's my list.
Okay, the way I look at it is you have two potential long guys both throwing opposite.
Because you're going to need long guys.
And Travis Wood and Buck Farmer.
And Verhagen is also a former minor league star.
I've always heard of Travis Wood too potentially being a dark horse for a rotation spot. That's what I've heard. So I'm gonna go with Travis Wood.
He started what 10 or 12 games for that Cubs team that won the World Series.
Was it the Cubs team that won the World Series? Yeah, because he was on the Padres last year. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Verhagen just because he's out of options. Travis Wood, he gives you a long lefty option, and Buck Farmer gives you that righty long option. Other than that, everybody else you can bring up, send down as you please. Travis Wood and Drew Verhagen, though, you don't want to lose those guys for essentially nothing, especially at the beginning of the season.
Well, you don't necessarily, if you don't keep Wood right away, lose him. I don't know if he has an opt-out in like June or July or whatever. But But if you try and send him down after you bring him up
Yeah.
once, you could lose him.
Yeah, so I think they're going to roll with those guys. With Verhagen and Wood, just to start off with, see what they got in them, and then if they end up being garbage, then
So be it.
yeah, then you've got.
Doesn't hurt.
I mean, you still have a Chad Bell, you still have a Blaine Hardy down in the minors right now that you can go and bring up and take up that same role. Same thing with Buck Farmer. If you want to bring up Joe Jimenez, if you want to send down Drew Hagen or Verhagen and put him through waivers. So be it. I mean, none of those guys. I mean, I think the most important guy on that list is Joe Jimenez. I think he's the one based off of what you have here of your real shots.
I want Joe Jimenez to
get in, eat
go
innings.
to Toledo.
Exactly. I'm with you.
And I want him to get on a fucking roll.
Yeah, that's
And then I want to bring him up, and hopefully that roll continues.
exactly.
When he comes back up, I don't want this middle relief uncertainty. I want to give him probably right away the 8th inning sink or swim.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be our 8th inning guy for this next month, regardless of what you do. And this is your job. Own it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to wait till May or June for that to happen. I want him in the minor leagues. I want him to get on a roll. I want him to, get back to what he was throughout his minor league time and not what we saw here in Detroit.
Do you think they're going to bring Laborde anytime up anytime soon?
He's going to need to get it under control. He has potential to be a fucking dangerous late inning weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But he's walk problems returned in the second half of last year, and that's not going to fly at the big league level.
Who was the guy they got from the Angels? For
who? Because they traded with him like 4 times in 3 years.
Wasn't it?
You're thinking Grayson Long?
No. Who was the one guy that was like a top prospect with them, had control problems? We watched a video of him.
Oh,
did we get him from Maben?
Yeah, no. You're thinking of Victor Alcantara. He's on my outside shots list.
Yep, I see him.
Which we'll get to. I really think this is the end of the Buck Farmer as a starter thing. I think Buck Farmer would be very beneficial for his professional career, where you can come in, you just come and say to him, "You got to get me 3 outs. Fuck it, throw hard." You have a fastball good enough to live at the big league level, and your changeup's pretty good.
Is he a goose egg stat guy?
I'd be interested in, yeah. I think a 1 inning roll where I only need you to get me 3, maybe a 4th out. That's all I need from you. Just come in and throw gas would be very beneficial for him because he doesn't have the pinpoint control in third pitch to work multiple times through a big league order. But it still has the stuff to get guys out. And so with that in mind, I think I would like to see him in a one inning role. And I think he potentially breaks camp with them for that reason. Verhagen, I like him as a innings eater because, he may give up some hard contact, but then again, his ground ball rate is outstanding. He should strike out a lot more guys than he does. But when you're in games that aren't close and you need to get 9 outs to save the bullpen, he's a prime candidate for it. My second lefty is going to be Travis Wood. Same thing. You can use him for 1 out. You can use him for 9. And he's pretty decent in either role. Assuming he bounces back to form, he was horrendous last year, but is a lot better than that. At the same time, he's on a minor league deal. You try it early. If it doesn't work, whatever. Let him go. Let him go. Bring up a guy like Blaine Hardy to fill the same role. Travis Wood is not a hard tosser either. Blaine Hardy's just such a soft tosser. I just can't do it. Outside shots list here. They did grab Johnny Barbado on free and waiver claim this offseason. And then I have Artie Lewecki as well. Made 1 start at the end of the year. Was way too early. Should have finished last year in Double-A, and yet he got a couple starts in Triple-A and big leagues. Sinker baller guy who just was very obviously not ready. I think he got tagged for 5 runs in 5 innings of work. Gerson Moreno, intriguing right-handed power arm with quite a lengthy injury history. I don't think he's quite ready yet. I'll see him at AAA this year, and if you like what we see, we'll bring him up. Zach Renninger, you saw him a little bit last year. Didn't go well either. Should have finished last year in high A or double A, and yet you saw him in the big leagues, so expect him to probably start in double A. Victor Alcantara, very tantalizing hard thrower, just has no fucking clue where it's going. Will be in the minor leagues likely.
No,
the entire year.
And we've said it before. I believe we've said it before that his control problems are real to the point where it's almost knocked him out of baseball before.
Yeah.
But if he's one of those guys, if he finds his control, then he can be a very, very good option for them going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have 3 minor league free agents. Well, actually 2 minor league free agent signings: Enrique Bourgeois and Mark Montgomery. Montgomery was a top prospect who has had, I think, 2 Tommy Johns in 4 years.
Ooh.
But did quite well pitching, I believe, in AAA for the Yankees last year.
How the fuck does that happen?
It does.
I hope he got his money back.
I would highly, highly doubt he breaks camp with the team, but he may be a guy you see in the middle of the year to eat some innings.
Which guy is that?
Mark Montgomery.
Okay.
And then Paul Volcker. Very, very intriguing potential late inning option. Is coming off a steroid suspension.
Oh.
But he's 5'10" and throws like 97. So could be pretty good. He also could be. So you know what that says to me? Remember Brian Villarreal?
Yes.
The one magical year you got out of him? Actually, you had 2 magical years out of him, and then he just lost it.
Didn't we trade him to Boston? Wasn't that part of the Iglesias deal? Wasn't
yes.
it? Yeah.
And then he pitched in like 6 games for Boston. That was it. I was actually friends with Facebook with him one
really?
time.
He's not in the league anymore.
No, he hasn't been in the league since his cup of coffee in Boston. I don't think he's in pro ball at all anymore.
Huh. Wow.
Any comments about bullpen jobs? Because we have the same fucking list and we didn't even talk about it.
No.
I bet you, quite honestly, Chad Bell, Warwick Saupold, both, and possibly Blaine Hardy end up in the Toledo rotation to start the year. Saupold and Bell definitely. Hardy, we'll see. With those guys will come up and they'll probably get 30 appearances apiece out of bullpen because you're going to be running guys up and down just because they're tired, and that's just the way it's going to be all year.
No, I'm
legitimately. You might see 25 guys pitch for the Tigers this year.
I think I like what you had to say though about Joe Jimenez, because obviously I think there's going to be a lot of people again in spring training clamoring for this guy to head north with the team. If he has a decent spring, I still don't want him up the team.
Absolutely.
I still want him in Toledo, eating up innings down there. And
I don't need him to eat innings. I just want him to be. I guess the ninth. I want it to be smooth, and I want him to be dominant.
Eating innings. You're right. It's a wrong way to put it.
What he would have to come up and do is eat innings at the big league level, and that's not what his best use of his talent is.
You're right. I want him to get, like you said, I want to see him get on a roll down there in Toledo, and then we can bring him up. Hope it transfers over, and then. But I don't know. I think he was still a little starstruck last year when he came up. I think
it was the first time in his entire professional career he ever struggled.
Yeah.
The guy didn't give up runs like for the last 3 years at all, and all of a sudden everybody's pounding him. So the next job I want to discuss, the center field / 4th outfield thing position. I honestly think they're set up right now to have a center field platoon to open the season. How that progresses or whether that sticks around, we'll see. But I honestly think your starting center fielders be Leonis Martin, a guy you picked up here this offseason, and Jacoby Jones. Both are talented with the glove, but don't offer much offensively. Jones can run into a ball every once in a while. Martin is more of the slap and dash type guy. Both play a very good center field, so you won't be hurting defensively. And you also have your Rule 5 pick, Victor Reyes, as well to consider there. Reyes maybe Mike Gerber. Mike Gerber's more settled, more of a left fielder in the major league level. Reyes split his time last year in the Texas minor leaguers, I believe he was in Texas. Splitting time between right and center is about a 50-50 split. I don't know. He was known as more of a right fielder, but he's still young. He could probably handle center field for a bit. Probably not long term if they do decide to keep him. But keep in mind, Reyes is a Rule 5 guy. You keep him or you lose him. Or they could do what they've done with like their last 3 Rule 5 picks and bought them essentially and stuck them back in the minor leagues.
I'll tell you what. I mean, what it should be is you should see Mike Gerber in left field. You should see that platoon of Martin and Jacoby Jones in center, and then Mickey Matuk, something in right, whatever.
Nick Castellanos at first base.
And Nick Castellanos at first base.
At this point, man, it's wishful thinking.
That's what should happen. I mean, whatever. Everybody knows our opinion on that. We seem to get ripped on it last year, but it's.
I'm sorry, but I don't like a 6'4" baby deer running right fielder, which is what Nick Castellanos is.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Like Comerica Park is a big outfield.
I don't like it for his long-term health and his durability. Mm-hmm. I don't like it for how it sets your defense up. He's still good enough of a infielder to play first base.
Not only that,
it's very obvious that he wasn't getting any better at third, and he wasn't very good at it, and that's fair.
I'm wondering if this is going to have any effect on him offensively, too.
Yeah, because he's got a lot more to worry about.
Exactly.
Or here's the other thing. Realistically, if you look at like the league average rain factor in right field, he's going to see like 2 balls a game. That's all you have to worry about is 2 balls a game. Instead of third base, which is like 4 or 5. Maybe that'll have a positive impact on his offensive game.
Maybe.
I'd rather just see him at first base.
Seeing him at first base means the end of Victor Martinez. That's all.
Hallelujah.
That's all I want to see.
Honestly, so say they do not keep Victor Martinez. I didn't put this on there. Who do you think breaks camp as the first base / DH combo pack out of the minor leagues? I have a name. He's not anywhere on this rundown. I want to see what you think about it. I got to see if you have any ideas before I tell you mine.
What about a guy like Christian Stewart?
He's not currently invited to big league camp. I would say sure, but I don't think he's breaking camp with it because he's not even invited. And neither was Bo Burrows. That incredibly surprised me as well. Those 2 guys not being invited is I find it kind of find annoying. My guy is currently a non-roster invitee. If that,
can you put Lugo there?
In theory, you could. Dual Lugo.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you have?
I have Dominic Fakiasello, however you say that. Switch hitter, 6'4", 200 pounds. Finished last year at AAA. Has played third in his minor league career. More of a first base only type, first base DH type. Hits the ball a long way, good slugger, decent on base, just strikes out a lot, also walks quite a bit, so. But, 12th round pick in 2013, likely a 4A'er, but I wouldn't, 25 years old, I would like to see him get that opportunity. After, by the way, he did lead the Tigers in home runs in spring training last year.
Oh.
Ooh.
Can we go get Andrew Romine back?
If Seattle doesn't keep him. Notice he was a free agent for like 3 minutes. Actually, he got picked off a waiver claim.
Hey, I've never had a huge issue with Andrew Romine. Never.
Because he was your 25th man. Who cares?
He's your 25th man who can go out and play any position you give him. Literally, he could go out there and play any position you tell him to.
Yep.
I mean, that's whatever.
As you could see in the last game of the year, he did play every position.
And that is fine with me. I don't have a problem with him. I don't. I thought Andrew Romine took to his role on this team very, very well.
Give you 4 good years of service?
Yeah. I mean, obviously he's not a guy that you don't want.
It's not a franchise cornerstone. You will not see his jersey in the D shop.
No, you don't want 24 other Andrew Romines on your team.
You'll be horrific. But you'll have a lot of switch hitters.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Also, outside shots, I'm making it like in the fourth outfield role. Dimaducci, Jason Kierzan, and Chad Huffman. Kierzan is a corner only. Aducci is a corner only also. Although he did play a little bit of center field in Toledo last year. I wouldn't want him patrolling center field at Copa. And Chad Huffman is actually a former Tigers minor leaguer who's been around the minor league block recently, made his major league debut with Texas last year. Can play left, right, and first base. As a sort of utility option. He could be an option early if they do not decide to keep Victor Martinez or he gets hurt again. Either of which I'm not going to be upset about. And last but not least, you have two last roles to fill, your utility infielder and your super utility guy, that 25th man. You don't have anybody on the 40-man roster right now that really is the leader in the clubhouse. The guys that are really competing for that role are all non-roster invitees, outside of DeWall Lugo, who I wouldn't be surprised starts the year at AAA. He did finish at AA last year. Your thoughts on this? I have on this list as possibilities. I have DeWall Lugo because he can play, second, third, and short.
And he was the big piece in return for JD
Martinez. Cody Eves, who was I forget who he was compensation for, but he came over from the Angels for somebody. Can play second and third. Nico Goodrum, a guy
was
you
it
signed.
Justin Upton?
No. He's been in the system for 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it might have been Jose Alvarez. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that might have been his compensation. Nico Goodrum, a guy you took from the off-signing of the minor league free agent deal. He spent last year at AAA Rochester, the Twins organization. He literally played every position but catcher. Primarily is a infielder. 6'3", so the list minor league baseball listed him as was a second baseman. I would peg him more as a left side of the infielder primary, but can play anywhere in a pinch. Not known for his bat. And then you have veteran Pete Kozma, played last year with the Diamondbacks, played mostly first base for them, but that was out of necessity when Paul Goldschmidt was hurt. Defensively competent anywhere on the infield. Ronnie Rodriguez, a guy you signed out of the Indians organization, if I remember correctly. Also played literally everywhere last year except catcher. Not known for his bat, but he can fly. And then you have Alexi Armarista of Padres fame. Is a more than defensively competent middle infielder. Also played some center field. Just don't expect him to hit the ball out of the infield. Out of those guys, and then you also have Chad Huffman, as like I said, because he can play a little bit. And then also a guy that is not currently listed in the top prospects list for some reason. A guy kind of like Harold Castro was a second baseman until the trade deadline when you had Sergio Alcantara and those guys join the minor league system. Then they moved him to center field. Also has played some shortstop in his minor league career. I like him a lot more than he's rated. I don't think he's going to be a big league regular, but I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him at some point in a utility role in Detroit. I do like him. I do peg him for that. I don't think he makes team this year, but don't be surprised if he sees time in Detroit eventually.
This is
Another thing that really doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, the Tigers aren't going to be good. That's why it doesn't matter in that sense. However, I mean, all of this is going to be very, very interesting to see how it kind of shakes out, just because the one wild card in all of this is going to be Nick Castellanos. And what he can end up...
He's going to play right field.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is what he can do next year. How is he going to take to the position? How well is he going to do at the position?
Because right now you have a lot of guys... I mean, because if you're going to possibly looking to platoon in center field, Jacoby Jones, in theory, can he go and play the infield? Yes, but...
Honestly, if they were smart, I would totally go the full, like, Joe Madden route. Hey... I can, Chris Bryant starts in right field like 10 times a year. Or at first base when Anthony Rizzo gets the day off.
It's going to be a softball lineup then.
Yeah, who cares? Your right fielder today is more than likely going to see 2 baseballs.
Then you know what?
Who cares?
It really
You're an athlete. Be an athlete out there.
It really doesn't matter then. Okay, then.
Candelario needs a 10-day DL trip.
You know what? Then
Castellanos plays third base for 10 days. Who cares?
Then have Lugo come up with a team then.
Okay.
Have Lugo come up with a
So
team.
you'd like to see DeWall Lugo break camp?
Sure.
And play quite a bit, because remember, you still have 2 guys. Jose Iglesias never plays a full load, what I would call a full load, because he's fragile. Dixon Machado is still Dixon Machado. He's not going to play every day, shouldn't play every day, and that's okay. And then Candelario, still a 23-year-old rookie. You're going to need guys to take some at-bats here, and I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see... So you got to pick two. So which two are you picking? So you have Lugo and who else?
Lugo and...
Come on, dead air's killing me, man.
Kozma.
Pete Kozma. Okay. I think Pete Kozma is going to be your utility infielder type. I doubt he sticks with the team the entire year, but he will break camp with them. My second guy I think will break camp with them is going to be Ronnie Rodriguez. Had a very nice year in minor leagues last year. Intriguing option. He can fly. So I would think that he's going to be an option there. Still a younger player. You know, see what you have there. Lugo and Eves, I think, will both get time at the big league level this year eventually. Goodrum is interesting because he's a very athletic player, but can he hit enough? Who knows? And like I said, I really like Harold Castro, but I think he's still at least a year out before you see him at the big league level. Boy. So, with all that being said, how many games is this baseball team going to win? Not many.
I think a good season. Good season, they get between 70 and 75 wins.
I think you're reaching.
I think I'm reaching 2. And that's why I said a good season.
Well, what is a realistic season?
$55, $60.
You think they're going to lose 100 games?
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be a challenge to not lose 100 games.
Okay.
You're going to need a meteoric improvement from Norris and Boyd. Zimmerman's going to not have to throw batting practice every day. And Mike Fiers is going to just have to be not terrible. And this also assumes you don't sell at the deadline. Not that you have anything to sell anymore.
No,
because
because nobody
relief arms, which aren't worth anything.
No, because nobody's going to take Jordan Zimmerman off your hands. If you still have Victor Martinez, nobody's going to take Victor Martinez off your hands. How many more years is Victor Martinez signed for?
I think this is it.
You know what, though? That might be... If Victor Martinez is playing well, an American League team needs a bat.
DH.
He could be one of those guys. So maybe you know what?
Yeah, this is it.
Maybe it's in the Tigers' best interest that Victor Martinez stays on the team.
Is a full no trade clause, by the way.
You know what, though?
Hey, Victor, this is your last shot, man. You want to go to a contender?
Want to go to... Yeah, exactly. You'd be able to sell him on that. There's no way he'd want to ride it out
on this team
at the trade dedeadline. You're looking at...
I hope Ron Gardner has the balls to not play him every day and like hit him 7th.
No, but seriously, I mean, you're looking at a situation where you're going to a different city and playing how many months?
2 or 3.
Exactly. On a possible
Kids aren't that old. You're not missing that much.
Exactly. So
that's all you're going to have to do after this year. So get away from him while you can, man.
Yeah. So maybe it is in the Tigers' best interest to have Victor Martinez make this team play well this year, and then deal him at the deadline and get something for him.
Won't be much, but something.
Yeah.
Hell, I'll take international bonus pool money.
Oh, you can. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would take that too. Even though I never use it, but
yeah, because we're cheap asses. What's your opening day batting lineup? Offensive. Well, we can do starting pitcher too. What's your opening day lineup here? Batting order included.
Right now, well, you have. You do batting order too?
Yeah. I'm gonna go full Saber lineup here. I'm gonna see what your thoughts are.
Go ahead.
Okay, me first. I'm gonna have Heimer Candelario lead off.
Okay.
Play third base. Batting second, I'm Nick Castellanos in right.
Mm-hmm.
Third, I'm gonna have Miguel Cabrera at first base.
Okay.
Fourth, let's see. Mikey Matuk in left.
Matuk batting fourth.
Yep.
Okay.
Matuk batting fourth and left. Batting fifth, I'm going to have James McCann catching. Batting sixth, I will go DH Victor Martinez, although I really hope he got cut.
I don't know. I'm starting to sell myself on him making a team and then dealing him at the deadline. Go ahead.
Batting eighth, Jose Iglesias, and batting ninth, Dixon Machado. Who did I miss? Center fielder. Whoever's playing center field, it's going to be a pure straight platoon between Jones and Martin.
Batting last.
Batting seventh.
Okay.
Eighth, Iglesias. Ninth, Machado.
And Fullmer starting the season.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. The only thing that I would do is I would switch Castellanos and Mickey Matuk.
So you have Matuk hitting second and Castellanos in fourth. Okay.
Yep.
If I'm going to do that, if I'm going to put Matuk in the 2 spot, I'm going to put Castellanos third, and I'll hit Cabrera
fourth.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'd still have.
God, James McCann's going to be big league 5 hitter. Oh God, I would much rather put Candelario there, but you don't have a leadoff guy. I'm not hitting Jose Iglesias or Dixon Machado at the leadoff spot. Sorry, and I'm not putting my center field platoon guy there either. So get used to hitting leadoff, bud. Who else has their third baseman leadoff? Nobody. That's who.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Actually, I can't think of anybody as their third baseman leadoff.
Huh.
I can't either.
Yep. Nope. All right. What's your lineup?
No, that
Did you do that?
yeah, I would do that. But like I said, I would just
That would be the one switch.
I would just flip.
I'm full saver.
Castellanos.
I'm putting my best guy in the 2 spot. The Castellanos I'm batting is my best guy. So, all right. Top prospects. I only really have 3 guys that I think are in striking distance to come up this year. 2 of them, really. Bo Burrows and Christian Stewart. How long do you think they break? They're not going to break camp with the team because neither of them are invited. How close are they? When do you think we'll see them this year?
I don't know if we'll see Fado this year.
I don't think I will either. I bet you he starts the year in Lakeland and finishes in Erie.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Fado. Could see Burrows and could see Stewart when the rosters expand.
I think you'll see Burrows multiple times before then.
Okay.
Stewart is going to need a couple injuries to be ahead of that. Mike Gerber's really, he's not going to make. I would like him to break camp with the team. I don't think he will. But Mike Gerber's ahead of him on that depth chart. But if you need 2 outfielders or you decide the Jacoby Jones, Noyce Martin experiment isn't going to work, you start making some changes. I'd like to see them both by the end of the year. I just don't know that I think your timeline's right for Stewart. I think it'll be expanded rosters. Burrows, I think you're going to see him as early as May when they need a starter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he starts the year in AAA.
Wow.
Finished in AA and was damn good.
What about Matt Manning? How far away is he?
Dude, he's going to start the year in West Michigan.
Is he?
Yeah.
So what, about 3 years then?
2.5.
2.5. Okay. That's cool.
I bet you he starts the. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't start at Lakeland either.
I'd be excited to see Bo Burrows though in May. That'd be cool.
I wouldn't be so very surprised if he's not on the Michael Fullmer plan. We'd like to start in the minor leagues. Oh shit. Well, need an arm in the 3rd week of the year.
Hey, but if he falls,
pack your bags.
No, but the Michael Fulmer plan was Michael Fulmer. No, the Tigers were fully on board to put Michael Fulmer back
down the entire year.
He just didn't give him that option, which is great. I hope.
Well, yeah, the plan was like, well, we need an arm and you're on regular rest, so come on down. And instead it was, well, you're kind of good, so you're sticking around. Damn it, arbitration clock. Yeah, I think that's about right. So so overall, we're not looking forward to this season. It's going to be ugly.
Fuck no, it's going to be awful.
It's going to be an awful year. They do not have the talent to go on some magical run. Sorry.
No, sorry, people. Don't expect it to happen, too.
Yep. Ratings are going to suck. Ticket sales are going to suck. And you might be able to get some cheap tickets on StubHub.
It's going to be like those late Tigers Stadium years,
last year.
Or early Comerica Park year type.
Drawing like 8,000 on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be very, very bad.
But guess what? They're more than likely going to give you more like in-stadium promotions. So you're going to get more like bobbleheads and floppy hats and stuff like that as giveaways. Anything else on the Tigers?
My what?
Anything else on the Tigers?
Nope.
Right. All right. Last but not least, cut room floor. Michigan State up to number 2 in the AP in the coaches poll, and now has a chance, if they win out, of winning the outright Big Ten title. Thank you, U of M, for beating Ohio State on senior day at Chrysler Arena. They won by 12. Good game by the Wolverines, and thanks, guys.
Did you watch it?
No. I was at screaming my head off at said.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
camp. I also missed the biggest comeback in the history of the Big Ten on Saturday. For the same reason, Michigan State did overcome a 27-point second-half deficit to beat Northwestern, holding them to just 11 points in the second half.
Biggest comeback win in college basketball in the last decade, too.
I think since 2010.
Yeah.
And like 5th biggest ever.
Does that worry you a little bit, though? I mean...
Well, it shows me one thing, that if you start like shit, you have a chance to rally.
You know what was most impressive about that, though, too? Is they did it largely... Is they did it largely without Miles Bridges.
Yeah, Miles Bridges had 4 points going into the final minute of the game.
I think he had 8 points total.
Yeah, he knocked down 4 free throws in the final minute.
Foul trouble this second half. So, if you want to, I mean, obviously a win.
Cassius Winston is peaking at the right time.
And obviously a win is a win for you at this point, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the biggest take out of that was Michigan State relying on their role players to some extent, and not necessarily the best player. And you're not wrong.
Matt McQuaid's peaking at the right time. Cassius Winston's peaking at the right time. I'm not going to call him a role player. Kenny Goins is playing the best basketball of his life.
What do you think about Jackson?
Jaren Jackson?
Yeah.
If he could just stop grabbing people, he'd be just fine. Stop playing defense with your hands on your body. You have incredibly long arms. You can't hide it. Stop it. You don't need to. They can blow past you. You could still block them. Drives me nuts. He hasn't gotten any better at that, but he's gotten a lot better at pretty much everything else. So still love him. Josh Jackson, however, I would like to see a little bit more out of him. But at the same time, I think they're running in the classic case of there's not enough ball to go around, and he's not a ball handler. He happens to be a secondary shooter, and there's not enough ball for him.
I think they're going to win the Big Ten regular season.
Okay. What about the tournament?
Well, my question for you is, what do they have to do in the tournament to get a number 1 seed in the tournament?
Make it to the semis, I think.
Make it to the semis? Okay.
Also, I'm going to have to survey the rest of college basketball, because right now, the bracketologists are like slamming these guys. They haven't lost in a month, and they just keep going down people's lists, which I get, because they didn't look good Saturday. And everybody did their bracketology, Saturday night slide into Sunday. So I don't blame them for kind of freaking out about that. But Jesus Christ, man, they haven't lost in a month. They're an AP top 5, top 2 team, and you're going to put them as a 3 seed? Come on.
If they're that'll be a travesty if they're a 3 seed going into the tournament.
Well, that was like the year that they ended up beating North Carolina. I think it was 2007. They finished like 8th overall in the AP poll and were a 5 seed. Finished the regular season at 8 overall, or 8th in the polls, and ended up being a 5 seed.
Is that when they went to the?
They went to the Final Four that year.
Didn't they go to the championship that year?
Yeah.
And they lost to North Carolina.
Yes.
Yes. That was in Detroit.
Yep. That year.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like Chris Hill and Shannon Brown and Maurice Ager and them. Yep. Lost to Sean May and the fucking North Carolina Tar Heels bastards.
Did you cry?
No. I was actually driving across the country visiting colleges. because it was spring break, and that's what we did as a junior.
And crying.
Because I'm a nerd. Anyway. Oh, yeah, and Blake Griffin's being sued by his ex-fiancée for being a sleazebag.
Like I said, him and Miguel Cabrera can start a club.
The Bad Dad Club?
The Bad Dad Club. The Baby Mama Club.
What about, is there anybody else in Detroit sports that we'd like to add to that club? Just off the top of your head?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
The Bad Dad Club. Put that on a t-shirt. Like caricatures of their face. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You'd probably sell a couple hundred of those.
I'm sure there is.
Properly advertised, you'd sell a couple hundred of those.
I'm sure there's some guys out there that we can go and add to that list. Just nothing screams at me right now.
Can we put Titus? Well, I don't know if Titus Young has got baby mama drama, but he just got denied.
Titus Young might be in a club by himself.
No, he just got denied parole in California for being arrested like 20 times in 5 years.
Titus Young is one of those guys you might want to lock up and throw away the key.
Yeah, loony.
The guy can't stay out of jail.
Or stop falling asleep in cell phone stores on the bench. Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. This has been episode 161 of Motor City Uncut. Join us each and every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on the various different platforms you are finding us on. So for Adam and part-timer Sean, who's part-time, I'm Dorf. We'll see you guys next week.